Just recently, a very detailed pre-made VTuber model has been making the rounds.
Hogs out of my gourd!
Woof woof woof. Hello everyone.
This, of course, being the pre-made VTuber model by Suiika over on Twitter. And it is fantastic. If you've heard about this one and are interested to know more about your pre-made VTuber options, buckle up! Because in today's video, I'll be going over everything you need to know about pre-made VTuber models, including where to find them, how to set them up, and some concerns people have regarding pre-made models. Let's jump right into it. To get us started, let's dive into exactly what a pre-made VTuber model is. Well, unlike the normal route of going to an artist, giving them a design, taking that design and giving it to a rig artist to then animate and finish, you just get the model instantly. Think of it as ordering a pizza with whatever toppings you want, versus walking into a pizza place and just grabbing a ready-to-go slice. One is custom ordered to your specifications, the other just there however it was made. The pre-made VTuber model, being the ready-to-go slice, is not going to have all the toppings, or in this case, the design you want to the exact details. But this has sort of been changing in recent times. I started with a pre-made, and if you've watched this channel before, you've heard me say this about 1,000,000 times already. And I'm gonna keep saying it till people stop thinking they need to drop 5K on a model before they even try streaming. My old model is an example of a ready-to-go. You get what you get with maybe some color options. In recent times, however, a new type of pre-made model has become more popular. This being customizable models. With customizable models, yes, you still are held to some restraints. Artists can't read minds, nor can they come up with every combination ever for every VTuber ever. But that's not to say that you can't get super specific with a custom model. Adding in with VTube Studio, editing of course. Watch my other videos on that, by the way. Now before I get into where to find models, let me address something that some of you may already think about commenting. It can be harder to find POC, masculine presenting, or different body shape models for pre-mades or customizable pre-mades. There are options, and I'll be showing you some of the ones that I've seen people really like. So where do we find these VTuber models? Well, the Suiika model I originally found through the hype of Twitter, and you can find some assets there since although it's a mess, it seems to be the platform with the biggest VTuber community and therefore one with the most sharing of resources. However, the site I think that is easiest to look for pre-made models at is Booth. It's an actual shop website. The third place I'd recommend looking for pre-made models would be Etsy. Also a shop interface, but it feels a little less specialized than Booth. Here are just some of my recommendations on the models that I've seen. First, for the femme folks, the Suiika model. With a price point about 115 euros, rigging is fluid, there are tons of options to get the model closer to what you'd like. The artist is also planning on future expansions. For mask, there's the model from Wanilmith. The price is about 125 euros. Tons of options, colors, hairstyles, beards, and by the looks of it, they've been adding updates as well. One of my friends recently used it for his a-thon and I think it looked fantastic. Now, if you don't have over $100 to spend, don't panic. Here are some more budget-friendly options. Azuyani over on Etsy has both mask and femme pre-made models for around $25. There's also a cute chibi option on Booth for around $25 by B4. It also comes with a super cute keyboard mode. But what about setting it up? Well, now that you have some options, let me show how to set it all up. I'll be using the Suiika model to demonstrate since, well, it's most talked about right now and also pretty detailed. By the way, thank you for watching. If you've liked this video so far, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Anyways, let's get to the tutorial. To get this model, you'll unzip the file and drag it into your Live2D models folder. If you aren't sure where to find this, you can browse local files on Steam and click to the assets. Once you have your models folder, just plop it on in. Okay, so when the model loads in, this is what you'll see. The base default model. First things I always check are the hotkeys to see what this model has hooked up and ready to go. So go to the settings, movie icon, and scroll to see different options. We have the facial expressions, and then some hair, ears, and animations. But what about the color? Well, there are two possible ways to go about this. One is through the art meshes, and I'll cover that after, but for this model, to get the really detailed looks, we need to go into the expression editor. Our new expression is going to be what we have set up. Now, I've already made my design out of this model. Okay, I was a little too excited and made it without recording, and I don't want to do it all over again. I'll be doing a side-by-side for my model too, but I want to also show how to set one up, and because of that, I'm stealing, with permission, the design of Yomi Quinley from the Socks VTuber agency to be my test subject. One reason I wanted to use her design was to show how a fantasy skin would look, and some fine details that may not be exact. A big thing to think about using pre-mades is understanding that there will be things missing or inaccurate to your specific design. Going slider by slider, I'm building out the options. I recommend for color options, sliding the saturation first, because without that you'll have no idea what color you're currently on. Now, I'm just going to speed through my settings of the toggles. Just know you can turn stuff on and off by sliding the toggles, and setting certain lengths by doing the same. And there we have it. Now, we just need to name the expression and save. So in order to see what the heck we just did, don't panic, it's not gone, we need to set the expression. Add set unset expression. Then pick some keys to toggle, or set your stream deck if you have one. Then, ta-da! We have Suiika Yomi. Kind of. Okay, so while this is as close as we can get using the sliders, we have one more trick up our sleeves for the fine details. And I use this a lot on my model. We are going to work with the transparency sliders on the art meshes to remove specific elements or change the color of select pieces. This isn't perfect as some layers are just not meant to be made invisible. But for us, we want to remove these side laces for a more Yomi accurate look. Done! It's only a slight difference, but we can see it look a bit more accurate to the original design. If we want to add a skirt, we could remove a top layer, but it's not meant to be made invisible and looks a little off. Because of this, I made Yomi with and without the skirt. The last thing we could do is have a hat or other add-ons to put on the model if we really wanted it to get closer. But as for the model without external add-ons, there we have it. People have been making additional items for this model, such as leopard's tail, fantasy ears, and others. For another example, we'll use my Suiika model. My model is a good example of extra transparency and color modifications. I removed the top part of the skirt to show a little of my tummy, and recolored the belts, belt ruffles, corset decorations, and the skirt top layer. If you want to learn more about how to use these settings in VTube Studio, go check out my videos on colors and effects or add-on outfits. The Suiika model is a fantastic and very well made model with lots of opportunity. The only additional points I want to make is to be careful and be patient. There are moments throughout the customization where my VTube Studio would not be responding and then load back in. This could potentially be an issue if you have not as a beefy PC. In addition, Suiika has acknowledged the lack of more specific POC hairstyles and is currently working with another artist to have those added in a future update. That was a lot of information about pre-made models, but there's still one more thing I haven't addressed yet. I always encourage anyone entering the VTuber community to use a pre-made before anything else if they feel they absolutely need a VTuber model to start streaming. And since so many people join the community, they may use similar, popular, or low-price models. This leads to people mentioning how same the design feels, and I get it. I think now when the Suiika model is popping off, some people feel, since they've been seeing it often, that it doesn't feel like different VTubers, and I kind of get that. But if you feel that way, here's my biggest piece of advice. The VTuber using the model makes it unique. However, if you feel that way and are put off by looks alone, there is an easy solution. Just keep looking. There are loads of pre-made models out there. In fact, I still get people who thought my original model wasn't pre-made. This is because I specifically looked for ones I just hadn't seen often in my searches for pre-made models, going back a couple pages in the searches. Yes, popular models will be popular, but they're popular for a reason. With an ever-changing and expanding community, you're bound to find something unique or a style more up your alley. Well, I think that sums it all up. Going over where to find models, how to expression edit to customize a Suiika model, and little tips to make it look all the more how you want it. If you watched this far, thank you so much. Feel free to leave any comments below on your thoughts, questions, and what you have planned in your own VTuber journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Mwah!